Hello and welcome back to another video. Today's video is all about me being a bit of a plonker. As you can see, this is what is left of my Wi-Fi antenna, and the reason it looks like this sorry state that it is in is because when I built my van and I added my wood burner flue, I actually measured the height of my van and I put a little sticker in the cab to remind me of the height of my van. So when I came across the height restriction barrier last week whilst I was in Kent, I quickly glanced at my little sticker, reminded me of the height of my van, and I thought, yeah, I should squeeze under there. So I edged forward against this height restriction barrier. In fact, it was one of those with a little swingy pole, so I thought if it does touch a little bit, it won't matter so much. And sure enough, it just popped over the top of my wood burner flue. And as it did, I thought, yeah, I've got plenty of clearance. Then I drove off. Literally split second later, I heard an almighty crack and a bang. Something hit the floor behind my van. That is how my Wi-Fi antenna ended up looking like this. Moral of the story, if you add anything extra to the height of your vehicle, make sure you measure it and put a little sticker in your cab and keep that sticker up to date. Anyway, that's the embarrassing part over with. Now the good news is, the company that make these, Poynting, actually just brought out a newer version, an upgraded version. So that's what I've brought. I've brought the newer version, which unbelievably is slightly bigger than this one. As you can see, it actually stands up that little bit higher. When I fit this one, I'm going to fit it like that, hopefully on the same bracket that I made for this one. That way it won't be as high, it'll actually be lower than this. And with a bit of luck, it'll even work better than this one did. Not that there was anything wrong with this. This worked absolutely fantastic, by the way. But I thought I'd take the opportunity to upgrade it nonetheless. And as it turned out, these are actually cheaper than these ones, and yet this is a newer version for some reason. Now the cable, the cable to this one goes through my roof, and I masticked it all around because I had no visions of ever changing this, so it's pretty much fitted permanently. So what I'm going to do, before unravelling all this cable and threading this new cable through, because if I did that, I would have to take all my cupboards down to run the cable behind the cupboards again, and it is a real pain. I'm going to actually cut this cable and try and join it using TV, or this is satellite coax cable connectors. So if ever this does happen again, I won't have to reroute the cable. I can simply unplug it and change it and put a new one on now. But hopefully it never comes to that. I won't have to change this. This one will survive. Because once I've finished fitting this, once again I'm going to measure the height of my van and change that sticker in the cab. Before I go cutting the cable on this one, because we don't want to really mess that up, I'm going to cut the cable on the old one and experiment joining it up and see if it makes any difference to the signal that I have actually got. I've got a small signal from this despite it being busted. So let's take a look at the strength of my signal before I cut this cable and join it, so we can do a proper comparison. So here is my NETGEAR router, and unbelievably I've actually got full signal. It was down 1 bar earlier, but I think now that I've twiddled with the aerial and messed around with it, I've actually got full signal. Unbelievably. Take a look at that. So there you are, I've actually got full signal on now. So let's jump back on the roof, cut the cable, rejoin it and see if it makes any difference to the signal strength. Now it's just occurred to me I should actually unplug the aerial before I cut the cables on the roof, because I don't want it to cause any damage to the router. So you can see there, I've simply unplugged it. Right, let's get on top and cut that cable. Okay, so here goes nothing. Wish me luck. Let's cut it about there. Yeah, I reckon. I don't think it really matters. Now I'm not really sure how this is going to work out, so yeah, I've not really had much experience with coax cable, I've got to admit. I really don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, so I figured it out. Inside you have to push the plastic piece out inside there, like that. Oh, can't do it. And then this white sleeve has got a screw in it. You undo this screw like that, push that single strand of wire in and then do that screw up, and that's what gives you a really good contact. So this piece Goes over there like that. I'm quite confident now this is going to work. I didn't know that they had screws in the side. I thought they just pushed in. Don't lose all the bits, Mel. This bit goes over there. That bit comes up here. So here we go, this is what it looks like joined up. I'm quite pleased with that, and when I do this permanently, I'm going to use some of this huge shrink wrap to put over it and shrink it down, and hopefully that will seal it from the elements. So now I've done this one, I'm not going to bother joining this one up because that's the broken one. This one is still working. So yeah, I'm not going to bother with this one, but I'm going to have a look now and see if it's made any difference to the signal on my router. Well, the good news is it has made no difference at all. I've got full signal back now on my router. You can see the full signal is back again. So that has given me the green light to go ahead and cut the cable on the brand new one and connect it up permanently. And I guess the side effect of that is if ever I do damage that aerial again, I know it'll be so simple to change. Also, if ever I want to upgrade the aerial, I can do that as well. Right, let's get back on the roof again. But first, unplug the router. I'll make sure I unplug this router before I go messing about with the cables on the roof. I don't want to cause a short circuit and destroy my router, because that was expensive. Right, so let's go ahead and remove this damaged one. I've already taken one of the bolts out. It's simply bolted in with these brackets that I've glued on my roof. So I'm hoping now the new one I can mount that way. I wonder if I could have done that with this. Yeah, look at that, I could have done. These holes are square, so they're the same distance apart, whether this way or that way. Oh well, we live and learn, right? Just learn the hard way. Right, so my new one. No, it won't go that way, will it? It's got to go that way. It won't go that way either because of my bar. So I guess it's going to have to go like that. Will it interfere with my skylight though? It's just about enough room for that. But there you go. By putting it on its side, I don't think that'll make any difference to the performance. That's definitely lower than having it up like that. That is far too high up. Yeah, see, that is higher than my flue. So definitely going to put it this way. That's it, that's the last one. Really easy to connect up. Now I'm going to put that through in there like that. That one goes on there. I really don't think it matters which way round these go, as long as they're done up nice and tight. Some of this heat shrink over there like that. And here we go. If ever I have to undo these, all I've got to do is cut the heat shrink in the middle. Big question is, has it made any difference? Let's take a look before it gets dark. So the first thing I'll do is plug the aerial back in. Would appear to be not as good as the broken aerial. It's kind of fluctuating, it goes up and down. I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe I should try turning the aerial upwards rather than on its side. Now, because the signal is pulsing between full signal and 1 bar down, I'm going to now take the aerial off and stand it up straight, just to see if it does make a difference. If it does, then I guess I've got no choice but to have the aerial facing up. All I've got to do is undo one bolt, put it up like that. See if that makes a difference. Yeah, now the aerial's facing up as it should be facing up. It's on full signal strength. So going by that, it looks like I've got no choice but to have my aerial sticking straight up. But what I'm going to do is take the bracket off and turn it around the other way to make it just a little bit lower. Let's go back up on the roof and I'll show you what I mean. I've got a plan. Let's unplug the aerial first on this end, because I've got to unplug it again up that end. What a nightmare, eh? What a palaver. Still, they say these things are sent to try us, and it's definitely trying. So to try and make this sit a little bit lower but still facing upwards, I'm going to take it off this bracket and turn it around like I did this one. You can see the bracket is lower. This one, it's sitting on the bracket that way up. So if I turn this around and have it that way, then it will sit lower down. It won't stick up so much. Right, I've rejoined this up. Put that back over there. It's a good job I didn't heat shrink these on, isn't it? Right, let's go back in again. See if I've got a better signal. Now it's facing upwards, the right way. So once again, I plug the aerial back in. So there you are. I've now got full signal again, and it's no longer pulsing. So that's good news. But I guess the proof in the pudding's going to be when I upload this video to YouTube and how long it actually takes. But to find out how long it takes to upload this video, you're going to have to watch this week's Waffle on a Wednesday. So if you're new here, then please do consider subscribing. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that when I upload Waffle on a Wednesday, you won't miss that video. Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you very soon. Ta-ra for now. Almost forgot to measure it. It's about 2.85, but I'm going to call it 2.9 just so I've got a little bit of wiggle room for any error.